Hey, Jason Smith here with Smith Family Farm. I wanted to shoot a quick video for you today. I'm actually out here, today's April 22nd, and I had a row of salad mix that I had planted back on February 22nd. It was during a workshop we had out here. I actually planted this row. And so I'm pulling it up because we got 2 cuts off of it, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up. It's starting to kind of get yellowish, and it's just not, it doesn't look good. There's no quality to it. So I wanted to show you kind of what we do with this bed after we pull it up. So as you can tell, I'm pulling this up right here, and I'm just throwing it in a wheelbarrow, and then I'm just gonna take it and put it on a compost pile and let it compost down. So what I'm doing is I'm actually going through here and hand pulling this up. You can see I got a little bit left right here, and I'm just gonna hand pulling it up. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and I'm just gonna take a torch and then flame torch every bit of this. This is a no-till bed. Like there's just I've used this bed for a couple years now, just doing the same thing. What I'll do is I'll plant salad mix in it, and then I'll come back with a root crop behind it, and then do salad mix and so forth, and just kind of rotate them. And then in between each rotation, I just come in here and put a fresh layer of compost on it, just about maybe like a half to 1 inch thick. But that's kind of what I'm doing today. I'm just pulling this salad mix up. I'm gonna take it and then just put it in the compost pile, and then but I'll kind of keep you updated here. After I get finished pulling this up, I'm kind of just want to show you what I'm gonna do with this bed. Hey, Jason Smith here, back with you with us at Smith Family Farm. So I just shot you a quick video showing you what we were gonna do here. We pulled up this this was a row of lettuce that I had, and it was actually, let me get back over here so you can see. It was actually lettuce that we planted it back on February 22nd when we had a workshop out here, and we got a couple cuts off of it, and then I pulled it up because it started to turn it just started to turn a little bit yellow and just didn't have any quality. But I did get a couple of cuts off of it, so that's all that matters. And so I wanted to kind of show you what we're doing here now is what I did is there's kind of a lot going on here, so I want to kind of explain this to you. But what I did is I actually took I pulled the lettuce out of this, and then I threw it on my compost pile. And then the next thing I did was I actually took a flame torch, and I just took a flame torch and burned everything off the top. And then I took my rake and I just raked any of the residue away. And so then after that, what I did is I took a fresh layer of compost and I spread it down this row, and just about 1 inch thick, or maybe like a ½ inch thick, really thin. So every time I do this, I put compost on this row every time I get finished with a crop. Typically in the past, what I would do is I would actually take this and I would actually plant a root crop. But since the weather's pretty nice, I looked at the long-term forecast. Doesn't look like we're gonna have any more frost. Today's April 22nd. May 1st is our frost date here in Middle Tennessee, and so I got this. I'm gonna take a chance and put these tomatoes in, because they're pretty good sized tomatoes, and I just want to go ahead and get them in the ground. They're cherry tomatoes, and hopefully we can get them going a little bit early. So what I did is let me kind of recap this just so you can understand. I pulled up my lettuce crop. I took a flame torch and went down through here and flame torched everything down. Just took a garden rake, raked away any of the residue, and then put a fresh layer of compost down. And then what I did is I've got this 20-year weed barrier. That's what this black stuff is. And what I did is I've had this for years, this weed barrier. So what I'm doing with these is I actually take a torch and I just burn holes in them, and then I put the tomatoes down in those holes. So what I did, I put this weed barrier down, and then I just went in, put them down with some landscaping spikes, and then put it down on the ground, and I got this ready. And then I actually went and I just dug the hole where these holes are in this weed barrier, and I went ahead and just started planting tomatoes down in it. As you can tell right here, I got all these tomatoes planted. But one thing I do want to do is show you how we plant tomatoes. So what we do is pretty simple. Once you're ready to put the tomatoes in the ground, I'm gonna set the camera over here, and then I'll just kind of let you watch kind of what's going on here with everything. So what we do is we actually we put the tomatoes in the ground, and then let me grab a quick tomato plant. And so these are ready to go in the ground. They got a lot of little like sprigs down at the bottom. I usually just pinch those off. I usually pinch the first couple leaves off the bottom, and then I'll take the tomato plant out like this. See, it's got good root growth in it. And what I'll do is I'll actually fill this hole with a little bit of water, and then I'll put the tomato plant down in it, and then do like this. Just give it a little bit more water. Actually, there's fish emulsion in this water. It's a mixture of water and fish emulsion, which is a natural fertilizer. And then I just take the dirt from when I dug the hole and put it over the plant. And that's kind of how we do our tomatoes on this black plastic. So what this black weed barrier is going to do for us is a couple of things. The most important thing is clearly it's a weed barrier, so it's going to keep the weeds down. It's going to keep the weeds off of our plants. But it does a couple other things that people don't realize. One of the other things it does is as the sun hits this, it heats this up. So at night, especially right now, because it's still a little bit cool, so at night what'll happen is it'll radiate heat back up, and it'll actually keep these plants, it'll keep the ground a little bit warmer than what the actual outside air temperature is, say 2 or 3 feet away from here. And you can add actually another layer of protection if you want to, and that's probably what I'm going to do, especially this time of year. These plants are very vulnerable, and they're just small, and they're just trying to get started. You can actually take some hoops, some small row hoops, and just do a layer of plastic over it, and build a small greenhouse over it, basically. And that'll keep the wind off of it. That'll keep it nice and warm inside, especially on sunny days. When the sun hits, it'll warm it up. The other thing that this weed barrier does is it actually keeps pests away. These plants are really young and they're very vulnerable. They're healthy plants, however, they're going to get shocked a little bit because we're putting them in the ground. They've been sitting in a nice greenhouse, and they got a nice warm environment. So what this does is this actually keeps the pests off. Most of the creatures that want to attack tomato plants, they don't want to walk across something like this because it's not the ground, and it feels different, and it actually feels foreign to them. And so it keeps the actual pests away. So anyhow, that's my daughter. She's calling me on my walkie-talkie. But anyhow, that's kind of how we do it. This row had lettuce, had salad mix in it yesterday, or actually this morning, and now it's got tomatoes in it. So we keep our beds turning over here, and we keep them going. And as long as you're putting down compost, taking care of the soil, building soil on soil, you can do things like this. And this is all no-till. I haven't tilled any of this. I haven't tilled this bed probably in years. And so, but that's kind of how we do it. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy to answer any questions for you, especially here in the Middle Tennessee area. We're really familiar with this climate, and we're pretty good at growing stuff here. Megan and I have been doing it for years. Otherwise, come out and see us. Smith Family Farm. We're out here in Lebanon, Tennessee. Would love to have you out. We're planting some stuff out here today. It's a nice day. We're expecting a little bit of rain tomorrow, so I was trying to get as much in the ground as I can. I got some more lettuce plugs I'm gonna put in the ground, and so. But anyway, look us up. Let us know. Thanks so much. Have a great day.